The Apostle Paul wrote to Christians in Thessalonica, "We became gentle in your midst, as when a nursing mother tenderly cares for her own children. So having tender affection for you, we were determined to impart to you not only the good news of God, but also our very selves, because you became so beloved to us." Paul cared, and his fellow believers could sense that by the way he spoke to them. This made his teaching more effective. Likewise, if our audience feels that we genuinely care for them, that we're not there simply to deliver information or fulfill an assignment, they'll be more likely to listen and respond. So how can we show genuine warmth and empathy? We need to think about our listeners. For example, before going into ministry, reflect on specific problems that people in the territory are concerned about. What are their beliefs? Try to imagine how they feel. When preparing a talk, remind yourself of what your brothers and sisters may be facing and how you can encourage them. Then use expressions that refresh, comfort, and invigorate your listeners. Be careful not to speak disparagingly of people or their beliefs. When conversing with older people or those in authority, use words that show respect. Let's watch a brother giving a public talk. Do his words show empathy for his audience?
The evolution theory is very popular today. But it's hard to understand how intelligent people could believe such an illogical theory. Many believe it simply because so-called educated people do, including many scientists. So how can we help them to examine matters for themselves and see how ridiculous evolution is?
If someone in the audience believed in evolution, how would he feel? Let's watch the speaker try again, but this time with more empathy.
The evolution theory is very popular today. But why do many people believe it? Perhaps they were taught evolution in school and were offered no other plausible explanation. How can we help people to examine the facts for themselves?
This time, the speaker didn't insult people because of their viewpoint. At the same time, he aroused interest in additional facts that are worthy of consideration. What else can indicate warmth and empathy? Tone. Not just what you say, but how you say it. A warm tone of voice, along with appropriate gestures and facial expressions, shows sincere interest. Let's watch a publisher in the house-to-house ministry. Does she show interest by the way she speaks?
I'm sorry. I can't talk to you today. I just lost my mother, and I'm meeting with the funeral director this afternoon.
I'm sorry. It's so painful when a loved one dies. When I lost my mother a few years ago, I found some Bible verses to be very comforting.
Although there was nothing wrong with what our sister said, her delivery lacked warmth and empathy. Let's give her a second chance.
I'm sorry. It's so painful when a loved one dies. When I lost my mother a few years ago, I found some Bible verses to be very comforting. Some of them are in this tract, but maybe we can discuss them briefly another time.
Our sister said exactly the same thing, but this time she spoke with emotion, and so her words were more effective. When we speak with genuine emotion, we show our listeners that we care. But be careful not to force or exaggerate emotions. If you're reading a scripture, try to express the feelings indicated in the passage, but don't draw undue attention to yourself. So, by thinking about your listeners, choosing your words carefully, and showing your interest, you'll refresh, comfort, and invigorate your listeners.